has changed a lot since I started planning this speech. I was originally just going to knock over a hydro flask and let that grab your attention, but now all I have are my words. Words brought to you through the technological miracle that is the internet. We are all on the internet in some form or another, especially now when our education that used to be a break from the internet is now online. We're on apps like Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Visco. Is Visco still a thing? Twitter. All of these incredible platforms that we use to communicate are ever expanding. And with these platforms comes groups of people who share their current news, their interest, memes, and people they interact with online are incredibly growing and changing all the time. And this leads to the formation of subcultures. Today we are going to be discussing two subcultures that existed in 2010 in the relatively early, still kind of Wild West days of the internet, and 2020. Now with our apps and minimalist aesthetics and photo filters that are out the wazoo. And we're also going to talk about how the idea of subculture has changed as the internet has changed. So, to dive back into a blast from the past, we're going to be talking about scene kids. Scene kids are people who generally dress in incredibly bright neon colors with huge helmet hair that's dyed so many different neon colors, as many as you can possibly get. Some people managed to put leopard spots in their hair. I don't know how they did it, but they did it and it looks really cool. They mostly focus on cultivating their MySpace page to fit a bright, happy, childish look with. There weren't many scene band groups back in the day, like there are for the emo subculture. The most music that makes up scene culture consists of Blood on the Dance Floor, Javon Monroe, and Jeffree Star. However, if you look to the emos of 2010, you could see that music was one of their core beliefs, was one of their core defining characteristics. The holy emo trinity, as it was called, consisted of My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, and Panic at the Disco. Emo is a musical genre, and it became a musical genre from the mid-2000s, and up until around 2012, 2011 was the height of emo music. Emo was also a look. It was black. You wore all black. Your hair was droopy. You had bangs. You couldn't see out of your hair, and the most color you would find on an emo would be black, white, red, blue, and purple. That's really about it for the emos. But there is one core belief that every emo who wasn't just doing it for the look believed, and that was the glorification of self-harm and suicide. They believed that this was the most beautiful thing you could do to a body. It was poetic. Death was not necessarily a tragedy because you got to escape the world that you were living in today. Whereas if you look, needless to say, this trend was not well liked, and it didn't last very long. And it was actually well on its way out in 2010, with the final nail in its coffin being the breakup of the band My Chemical Romance in 2013. Now, moving on to subcultures of today. These two groups, Visco Girls and E-Girls, consist mostly on the app TikTok, where they share videos of their outfits, what they look like, and general memes throughout the group. Visco Girls are very brand loyal. They have their Birkenstocks and their Hydro Flask, and they have a billion scrunchies on their hands and arms, and oversized t-shirts that you can't see their shorts in, and you will never take that away from them. But some of the things that they do share the opinion, is the idea of being sustainable and being environmentally friendly as one of their core memes that are associated with the group was Save the Turtles, formed after their exclamation online, SK, 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 save the turtles. So, yeah, don't use a plastic straw in front of a Visco girl. But another group that is essentially the emos but prettier and less depressed are e-girls. They focus mainly on a grunge aesthetic with mostly black clothes, vintage band tees over black and white striped long sleeve t-shirts. They have a lot of chains, blush that covers all the way to their nose, eyeliner hearts under their eyes, and things like that. The singer Billie Eilish is probably the most iconic and well-known e-girl that is relevant in today's media. They sort of marry scary and cute together. But how these have changed over time. We have gone from being more of a text-based internet, like in MySpace. You had selfies, yes, but you were mostly talking with people online by actually typing to them and, exchanging messages back and forth. Nowadays on TikTok, you mostly send video messages, so your image is incredibly important. So it becomes less of what you look like for a picture and how heavily edited that picture can be to how well you cultivate your look. And the internet has gone incredibly image focused. Everything is to be based on shares and visibility and have incredibly changed. But there are so many good things about the internet. You can find so many people, you can include so many people and find the community that you would never have known, unironically, that you would never have found, and create incredible friends that you never would have found in real life. So cherish these times on the internet, albeit don't let it distract you from your schoolwork. Cherish these times on the internet. Embrace the cringe culture. Embrace the cringe cultures that you love, unironically, by God. Connect with people who believe that the same things are beautiful that you do. And don't forget, Rawr means I love you in dinosaurs, and skip the straws to save the turtles.